I can attest to the honesty of Shah Hamad because he's been calling me Your Highness since yesterday. And his honey bunch as well. Friends, I want to put my first hat on as a member of the Baha'i faith. One of the tools that the Baha'i world community uses to help awaken the innate compassion that is in every child ever born is a year of service. When they are in their early teens to late teens, they choose a part of the world and they go there to serve. And with my other hat, as founder of the Virtues Project, in traveling the world, what I have seen is that as we work with many, many faith communities, that even the most troubled and wounded child has a heart of compassion that can be awakened by witnessing the suffering of others. This has been tried in the United States in many schools, inner city schools, when you realize that others need you and that you actually can make a difference. That virtue that is so much emerging as a child moves into the preteens and the teens, which is idealism. Who am I in this world? What is my mark going to be? How do I make a difference? What we have found is that even children that are labeled as bullies can become leaders. Once we say to them, you must find your way of using that power that you have to help other people and lead with integrity. And once you do that, you leave your bullying days behind, because under that anger is a longing for justice and a need for control. And you'll find that a lot of these very controlling children, once you say to them, you know, you have a lot of power with other kids, don't you? Yep. Well, if you wrap that power around service, you will be a leader of your community and you'll be a leader in this school. And the strategies of the Virtues Project, starting with the language of virtues, is a tool that's used by many, many diverse education communities and faith communities. And we have been speaking that language from the beginning of this conference, because the one thread of unity amongst all of us, of every faith, and people who have no particular belief system other than, I want to be a good person, we all believe in courage, honor, justice. That is the unifying essence of who we are. So if we use that language with children, and I'd love to give this audience and whoever's watching some homework for the rest of your life, that you sacrifice, that you give up any words that shame you or anyone else. Those words that some of us heard when we were growing up: stupid, mean, bully, confused, shy, that we drop the labels. And instead, when we see a 2-year-old come over and put their hand on someone's arm because they're crying, that we honor that compassion. Honey, that was so compassionate of you. And that when they are in a place of violence, that first of all, we hear what needs to be heard. We companion them, and then we call them to their peacefulness. So instead of labeling them as bullies, we call them to their innate peacefulness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that this notion of labeling is really the beginning of violence, isn't it?
Yes.
As soon as you try to categorize somebody as something,
Yes.
then the violence has begun. Thank you very much for sharing that.